Some of it, yeah.
But
Well,
you've
first of all,
made
I mean, just starting right from the top, like, I know I complain. I say it's not fun. It sucks. And I'm being honest. Yeah, like it's still not fun, but I believe that that one payoff is going to come like it did hunting the other day. Like there's
can
the last
can I stop
couple.
you for 1 second? Can you lower your camera a little bit because I feel like I'm talking to a little rascal over a picket fence. Like I see your eyes and your nose. Yeah,
Really?
that's better.
I see my whole body.
All right, it's better now.
Okay. Hello and welcome to episode number 45 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I am your host, Joe Santiago. As always, my partner, Chris Pereira.
All right, that wasn't too bad.
Okay.
That was all
Today, a
right.
little different kind of episode than usual. We're going to talk about some legends, some mysteries, and some old superstitions. I know I'm really big on this stuff. I think Chris doesn't buy into most of it.
Are you sick right now?
No. Why?
I don't know. You sound sick.
Do I? My
Yeah.
nose is a little congested.
You got COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I I've done some things just almost for fun. Like told you, I think I told you. I let my beard grow out while it's supposed to be ice fishing season, and then I don't shave it till ice fishing season's over. Remember? But like, if
And what does that do? Does that
it
bring the
does
fish?
nothing. I did nothing. It didn't even work this year. Like it doesn't work. It didn't work last year either. It doesn't do anything. That's my point. Like I'll do stuff just for fun or like make conversation about it, but I don't actually believe in it. Like, you know, like if I had to shave my beard for something, I didn't think the ice would melt. But I mean, some people literally they take this shit seriously, like
Oh,
real
yeah,
seriously.
I'm one of them. Yes.
Really?
We're going to talk about some of it. Yeah.
But
Well,
you've
first of all,
made
I mean, just starting right from the top, like, I know I complain. I say it's not fun. It sucks. And I'm being honest. Yeah. Like, it's still not fun. But I believe that that one payoff is going to come like it did hunting the other day. Like, there's
can
the last
can I stop
couple.
you for 1 second? Can you lower your camera a little bit because I feel like I'm talking to a little rascal over a picket fence. Like I see your eyes and your nose. Yeah,
Really?
that's better.
I see my whole body.
All right, it's better now.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you were saying.
I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying?
I
No,
don't know.
yeah, I mean, you go through probably, I don't know what the number is, probably somewhere from 6 to 10 really rough ones before you get the one real good one. And
I
most of those in between are not fun. Usually, they're just not.
well, it's not about it being full. Like obviously, if you try for something and you fail, you can't call it fun. But in a way, you're not actually failing. You're just hopefully learning something, and you're paying your dues almost. I mean, that's why we got the shirt that says suffer for the fish on the
Exactly.
back.
Yeah. Suffer for the fish.
I mean,
You know,
it's about, paying your dues, sticking it out, and that's never going to stop. Like once you stop suffering for the fish, I mean, your success rate's going to suffer in my opinion.
so
But
but that's one of my beliefs is that the more you suffer, the payoff will come.
okay, I mean, I would agree with that, but I don't think that's a superstition. I think that's just the law of averages, really. I mean, the more you do something, the more success you're going to have. And if you turn it into a ratio, you'll go insane, though.
Well, I have a hat. I bought it probably when I was like 14 years old at Melser's Sporting Goods. Everyone who like knows me or in my close family knows this hat. Um, it's held together now by tape. What's left of it? I bought it from Melser's. It was like $6.95, just a plain, no name camouflage hat. But I took this hat everywhere. I mean, first of all, the hat's been dipped in every deer that I've ever killed. It's been dipped in the deer's blood. I don't know why.
I saw you do that, and I was wondering what the hell you were doing.
Every single deer I've ever killed, which I'd say probably is in the area of maybe 25 lifetime, that hat's been dipped in the deer's blood. I make sure that's never been missed. Every deer I've ever gutted has been gutted with the same knife. I will not use another knife to gut one. I'm a complete weirdo. I mean, we can get real weird here.
Let me ask you this. Let's say I saw you do that with your hat. You wiped your deer, and then you put the hat down and you go about what you're doing. And I thought like, oh, I'm supposed to wipe the deer blood with the hat. And I take your hat and I wipe the deer that I killed. I wipe the blood with your hat. What happens?
I think it would still be okay. I've wiped.
It wouldn't bother you?
I think like when I took you hunting for the first time and like you got your first deer, I think I'd still dip the hat in that deer's blood anyway.
Did you? I didn't remember that one.
Yeah, I do them all.
Okay, so what if say, I'm not even going to say what if you forget to do it, because clearly you're never going to forget to do it. What if you lost that knife?
Oh God. We lost that knife at your mom's once, and I panicked, but we found it. I don't know. There's been 2 incidents. The hat one time blew off my head on Route 17, and it went into the like shoulder of the fast lane, and I had to I sped down 17 to a U-turn and had to go down to another U-turn and then put my hazards on, and I found the hat. And then on a saltwater party boat, it blew off my head, and some guy at the back of the boat caught it on a finger, by one finger. He just caught it as it. I'm not kidding. So yeah, I'm pretty crazy with this hat. It cost me $7 30 years ago. It's held together still by duct tape, but yes, it was there for both the births of my kids. It's been with me everywhere.
It's got to smell just awful.
It's hard. It's disgusting.
You can't wash it, obviously, right?
My wife doesn't even allow that hat into the house usually.
She allowed it into the delivery room for her children.
That she did. She didn't like it, though. All right, but moving on from my weird shit.
Well, I just wanted to say, I get it. I get why people do things like this. The part where you lose me, though, is where, if you lost that hat, I know you would be you'd be ruined. You'd be mentally just done forever. You'd be done.
You know what it is? You have so much gear and equipment, and it's obviously it's expensive and it costs so much money. But most of it's replaceable. Something like this hat, it's irreplaceable. I wouldn't be able to ever buy, and the knife I use is a buck 110. I could of course always buy another buck 110, but it won't be the same. It would be devastating to me for something like that.
All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, look, I'm not knocking it. I just these superstitions and stuff, they lose me when people take them too seriously. I'm just like, what? All right, I thought this was just for fun, let me tell a quick story. So everyone knows the whole banana superstition, right? You can't bring a banana on a boat.
That's going to be talked about. Oh yeah.
A ridiculous amount of people and captains, I'm talking about some of the best fishing captains I've ever fished with. They believe this. If you bring a banana on the boat, they may hurt you. They may, like, I don't know what'll happen. Right? So
They won't let it on. Or they'll
okay.
throw you off the boat, or they'll
Right.
have you probably
So
remove the banana.
so I don't believe in this at all, but I obviously respect the superstition. I'm not going to bring a banana on the boat. If it accidentally happens, I make sure nobody knows about it. I hide it or I throw it overboard when nobody's looking, whatever. So every summer, me and my two buddies from high school, we take a little trip and we go fishing. They don't really fish that much. They like it, but they only fish when I take them maybe once a year. Now it's even less because they got kids. But they know I won't do this trip unless I can fish, and they like it, so we do a little trip every summer. They don't know anything. Like, they don't know this superstition. They don't know anything. And I don't think to tell people, like, oh, you can't bring a banana on a boat. It's just not something that, comes up. So we're going fishing up in Cape Cod for tuna with one of the, if not the best tuna captain up there. All right. So we're on the boat, we're fishing. I didn't even realize my buddy bought a banana for breakfast, had it in his bag. I didn't see him buy it, had no idea. He has no idea. We're fishing the whole first half of the day, sucked. It was terrible. We saw some whales and dolphins. That was the extent of the excitement. There was no tuna life. Terrible. The captain's baffled. This is a great captain. Like, when we're not catching fish, like, he cares, you know what I mean? And my buddy just sits down and takes a banana out of his bag and just starts eating it.
Oh no.
And I'm just looking at him, and before I could say anything, the captain sees him and just goes, "What the fuck is that? Are you fucking kidding me?" And he's like, he's still eating the banana, and he's looking behind him. He's like, "What?" Slaps the banana out of his hand. It falls on the floor. He puts it on the side of the boat, takes a picture of it or a video or something, just slaps it into the water. He goes, "Are you fucking crazy?"
It's taken very seriously.
And I'm like, dude, so he looks at me because he knows I'm like the experienced fisherman. And he's like, "You let this guy bring it?" I'm like, "Dude, I didn't know." I'm like, "I didn't think." He's like, "I didn't know. It was a whole thing, right?" Later that day, we end up catching a giant 800-pound bluefin tuna. And I still don't believe in the banana superstition, but it's hard to argue with that day. And it was hilarious. And I don't know.
Well,
That's my
I'll
story
give
with the
you.
banana.
I have starting off with the banana because obviously that's one of the most popular ones. My research to the origins of it. One big one is that the banana crates were always filled with giant venomous spiders. They would load these ships with bananas to ship them to countries where there were no bananas, and then out at sea, the sailors would usually get attacked by these venomous spiders. The other one is that bananas float. So when a ship would be bananas were a big part of the trade in the 1700s. And when a ship went down full of bananas, the bananas would float. Everything else on the ship would usually sink. So other sailors that usually would come upon a shipwreck would find a pile of just floating bananas. So it just became a bad between the spider thing and the floating bananas at where ships went down, it just became bad. Big no.
Do you believe in it, though? Like, if I have a banana...
I will not bring a banana on a boat. I will not allow one on mine.
Okay, but you don't check my stuff when I come fishing with you. So if I'm sitting there and I pull out a banana and start eating it, are you going home like the day's over?
Actually, now that we're talking about this, you've seen me like pull my big thing out and drink a protein shake. Like,
don't tell me it's got banana in it.
Well, there's a blended banana in that protein shake. I never thought about that.
So that doesn't count?
I don't know about that. That's an interesting one.
What if I eat a banana before I come on the boat and I don't take a dump the night before and it's still inside me?
That will never happen to you because you take a dump every half hour. I'm going to throw a few of these historical ones. Now, keep in mind, all right, I don't want to get blasted. Don't kill the messenger here. These people, when these superstitions came out, there was no electricity. There was nothing yet.
Wait,
So it
people
was.
sent these in?
No, these are actual historical ones. I'm going to read a couple just to bounce off you. Are you frozen? Is he frozen, Deuce? I
You still
lost
have
Chris.
me.
You got me now?
I lost you.
I
Was it
lost
me?
you.
It was me?
All right, where was I?
Yeah, there you go. Take a timestamp mark on that.
Where was I?
I asked you if
All right,
people
so
sent
no,
in these
these are actual real historical ones. I'm going to just bounce a few of them off of you real quick, because
Okay.
there's so many of them.
Now pick the
Let's see
best ones.
Oh, they are the best ones. And the first one, of course, is women. Considered 100% bad luck to set sail with a woman on board. Now, in my research that I did to find out why this is, it actually seems to be that this was a rumor that the captains spread on purpose, because women were very distracting to the crew. When there was a crew of 100 sailors and there was 3 women on board, that was just not good for anyone. So
Yeah, why would the woman even want to be there?
they are a distraction. I mean, so especially when they're outnumbered and out at sea, the guy hasn't seen a woman in 10 months. It's just so the most research that I found on it was that the captains back then, they spread that rumor on purpose to keep women off the boat.
I mean, what? That's just so out of date. It doesn't. It just doesn't even matter anymore.
Well, it's historical.
Okay.
No
what else you
whistle.
got?
No, this one I've never heard. No whistling or singing into the wind. Never whistle directly into the wind, or it'll cause a storm.
I have never heard that. These are dumb. I got to be honest. How many of these do you have?
700.
Yeah, do one more.
I'm trying to find a good one.
They're none of them are good, Joe.
I mean, well, these are what they believed in. They never set sail on Friday because of something to do with the Bible.
I mean, none of this stuff applies anymore. What is this, a history lesson?
All right. Well, we were gonna get a little historical, but now I'll just bring us right to present day, because you just can't handle history, I guess.
Nah, it's boring.
Okay. Thomas Wyatt says if you forget the net, that is always when you're gonna catch the biggest fish.
I'll tell you what, he may be onto something with that one. I mean, and it goes for a lot of different equipment. I feel like, dude, like the biggest bass I've ever caught in New Jersey was just shy of 24 inches, and I bring my camera. Like back then, I had a digital camera. I brought it fishing with me so that I could document my fish, whatever. So I didn't have any fish stories that nobody would believe, whatever. I didn't have a smartphone back then. Wasn't that long ago. I go out this one time to test this lure that I made. And I was like, I didn't even know if the lure was going to work. I start fishing and I'm like, I forgot my camera. Like if this lure works, I'm not going to be able to take a picture with the lure in the mouth and like show my buddies. Dude, I only fished for like an hour. I caught the biggest bass I ever caught in New Jersey in my life, just shy of 24 inches. I don't even know how heavy it was. No camera. The only picture I have of it is like it hanging off the bench with a flip phone and like 2 megapixels. Like that looks like it's 18 inches, but it doesn't look like anything.
Well, everyone who knows me knows that everyone who's been fishing with me knows that there's going to be at least one very important piece of equipment missing. I always forget at least one thing. Dwayne knows it better than anyone because he's seen it several times. But the one time I forgot the net, when we went walleye fishing. Like, I forgot the net. Okay, and like Dwayne caught a nice walleye, and I grabbed it with my bare hands, and I dropped the sandwich when I grabbed the fish. And everyone blasted me on YouTube for dropping the sandwich. Like, I got the fish. Like, what are you? It's a half-eaten sandwich on white bread. Like, what the hell? I was just amazed at that. Who cares? Get the fish. Fuck the sandwich.
Joe, they're just messing with you.
No, they ain't.
And now that you mention that, did I ever tell the story on here when I took my buddy who's now passed, Artie? We were out fishing on Lake Hopatcong when I got my boat. It was a fresh boat, one of the first or second trips of the boat. And we're fishing. This guy's been fishing his whole life, all over New Jersey. Caught every fish in New Jersey except for one, a muskie. He hooked into a muskie on a spinnerbait that was meant for, whatever, walleye, hybrids, bass, whatever. He was, we were just fishing as the sun was going down on Lake Hopatcong. He hooks a muskie, and once we saw what it was, he starts freaking out. Oh, my God, it's a muskie. It's a muskie. I've never caught one in my life. I look down, and I look around, and I'm like, dude, I didn't bring the net. And he starts laughing. He starts laughing, and he's like, well, I guess I ain't catching a muskie this time either. And I my insides started hurting. I'm like, dude, I'll lip that fucking thing. Just get it next to the boat. I'll get it in this boat no matter what. And he's laughing because he doesn't think there's any chance. This thing's on like 10 or 12 pound leader. He gets it next to the boat, dude. And I don't even know how I just grabbed its face. My fingers were in its mouth and on its gill plate. I just pulled the thing into the boat with no net. One of the most memorable catches I've ever been witness to. Yeah, no net. Would it have happened if I had the net? I bet you would have cut the line immediately.
I one time on Spruce Run with my uncle who was supposed to come on, but I guess he can't, or he's doing something, or he just can't figure it out. But I forgot the net when we went trolling for hybrids. And I remember saying, I hope that we don't hook, anything crazy here with no net. And I've had doubles on multiple occasions there. Usually when you hit one trolling, you hit a double.
Yeah.
So this happens to be, I see one board go flying, drag screaming. Second rod goes flying, drag screaming. Now we're both fighting fish. Third rod goes screaming, board flying. So I now have 3 giant hybrids on with only 2 men. No net. I mean, me and my uncle were literally sitting on the ground laughing so hard we couldn't even reel the fish in. I think we lost 2 of them, landed 1, but it was so funny that we just, after that, went home. It was just hilarious. But yeah, the triple header, probably the only triple header I ever had with 3 giant fish was when I forgot the net.
Yeah, well, and you'll never know how big those fish were. Well, your uncle can't get on, or is that was the story? Even if he can get on now, you took his story.
Nah, he can't get on. But right, we have another guy.
Yeah, I got a
bone to pick. Several bones to pick with him.
I got the next best thing. We got Max. What's his last name? Fieldman.
Max Kellerman from HBO Boxing. Max, now we know one of your superstitions, and I've witnessed it right off the bat, is you need to grease that mustache in fish slime, which is utterly repulsive when you do it. But you feel like you won't catch fish unless the mustache is slimed up.
Yeah, well, I try to go out with it curled before I get there because I don't think I'm going to catch any fish if it's not curled. But then once I do catch fish, sometimes if it's lacking, I'll get a little slime and I'll, or lip glue, whatever's there.
Now, how do you think me and Chris are able to catch fish without this curled mustache? Do we need one?
Maybe. I mean, you might catch more fish. It kind of blows me away that anybody catches
What are you
fish
doing?
without a mustache.
Are you on the podcast, or are you doing something else? Are we bothering you?
No, I'm just trying to get ready. I'm rigging some tip up.
Sorry
It's
to
what-
bother you.
Yeah, is one of your superstitions that you can't pay attention to what you're doing without tying knots?
I have ADD. I can do a lot of different things.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And don't let Joe give you too much of a hard time because he just said he dips this old ass hat in deer blood every time he kills a deer.
Hell yeah. Listen, everybody's got their things. You know, I try to respect all of them.
I hear you. But like, how do you justify the fact that you caught fish before you even had a mustache or maybe even facial hair?
Miracle. All chance. It's just luck.
So, okay, then let me ask you this. So there's a post on Instagram that we put up a little while ago, and the cover of it is you with a big pickerel, which, by the way, you got beat out. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a post on there and it's real close to 250 likes, and we just decided to put up, like, if that post goes to 250 likes, Joe and I are gonna shave your mustache off.
You could try.
I mean, I said if we have to do it by force, we will. I mean,
I will not touch that thing. No way.
If you guys can get me down with buzzers, you know, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
All joking aside, if like, let's say we're not gonna like capture you and do it. Let's say you were asleep and we shave your mustache off. When you wake up, I'm dead serious. If that happens, you wake up and someone shaved your mustache off, what happens? You don't bother going fishing till you could grow it back in a week or two, or what?
Yeah, I'd be very upset. You know, I'd take the hit, but like, obviously, I didn't have the mustache my whole life, you know. But now that I do have it and it's working, I refuse to change it. And that goes the same way with a lot of things for fishing. You know, even if I'm wearing the same jacket for like 2 months straight and I'm catching fish in that jacket, I won't take the jacket off, even if I get hot. You know, I won't put on a different jacket. I try to keep things the way they are while they're working. So,
all right.
What do you guys think about when you're fishing on like a party boat or a charter boat and someone loses a huge fish? That spot needs to be abandoned immediately. All fishing shuts down. Superstition or a fact?
I definitely give it a second to cool down. Give it a few minutes or something. You know,
we're talking what species? We're talking bottom fishing. We've heard that for blackfish.
I've seen it.
I think I've seen it too, probably for blackfish. But I mean, if you're talking anything other than bottom fishing, I'm not really buying into that. Like, if you're anchored on a specific spot bottom fishing and that happens, I'll buy that.
So you think it's only for blackfish?
No, I just said, if you're anchored and bottom fishing on a reef, or a wreck or something like that, then I would say,
oh, he did get in. My uncle did get in.
Hey,
there he is, Uncle Rich. So we're telling the story of what happened to you.
He's not in yet, Joe.
Oh, he's not.
He's on the outside. Dude's got to bring him in. So are we done?
Are Twilight we done Max? You got to wait there for a minute in limbo, Uncle Rich.
You guys can toss me. It's all right.
Max, you got anything else to say?
Max, can we ask why you cry so much while we're killing time?
God, I don't know. I'm just a crier. I always have been. I don't know.
Just a lot of emotions.
Yeah,
I'll ask my mom. I'm just boiling over with emotions at all times.
What's with the voice message that I got from the woman at the hotel where we stayed at, that the people next door complained that there was a man crying and screaming at 1 a.m. the night that we got there, and they left pissed off. And she's calling me because the room's in my name. She's calling me asking questions about this. What the hell is that?
Were you crying in the middle of the night, Max?
Must be the damn night terrors. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes they get the best of me.
Joe just fell off of his seat. What the hell? This is a circus.
All
right,
man.
Max, we're gonna let you go. You got beat originally on the Skillful Angler leaderboard for your pickerel.
Yeah. Big 30-incher. Yeah.
Without giving too much stuff away, for anyone who doesn't know, that picture was deemed 100% fake It was an edited photo.
Yeah.
But Max, I got bad news. You were, as soon as they disqualified that fish, you were back in the lead, and Frank Raczynski out of South Jersey already beat you again with a 27-incher.
Good. At least he's from South Jersey, you know.
And
We
at
got
least
some big
it's
pickerel down there.
and at least it's real. But
Yeah,
All right.
and at least it's real. I knew I was going to get beat. It's just a matter of time.
Go tie me rigs, Max.
yeah, we're gonna let you go
I
tie
will.
your rigs. We'll see you later.
Tie something
All
for
right,
me.
guys.
Oh, yeah,
Take care.
you're welcome. Yeah, sure. All right, Uncle Rich, we're talking about some superstitious fishing stuff. We had an email from Thomas Wyatt telling us when you forget the net is usually some of the best days of fishing.
Yep, we had that one day.
I was telling the story of us how we were basically laughing so hard we couldn't even reel the fish in.
And the funny thing was, the other boat next to us with a couple of young guys there, they were looking at us like we were out of space, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, they're
That
saying,
was the
"What did they
funniest.
do?"
When just watching us, and they stopped fishing just to watch us. That was funny because trying to get them fishing, 3 of them at one time.
No
Funny,
net.
but before that, we were talking about forgetting the net and what happens when you forget the net. Then it was like all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Stuff. It was just really crazy. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So, Rich, Joe said you couldn't get on before while we were waiting. He told the whole story, and then we got you on. Do you have another story, or did Joe just completely ruin?
Oh, he has probably the most stories of anyone that knows me ever.
I can't think of any now. I gotta kind of like write them down and think of them.
Just off the top of your head, can you tell us like the most embarrassing one about Joe, just real quick?
About Joe?
Yeah, I know there's probably a lot.
Well, I'd have to think about embarrassing stories about Joe. The one that was funny, I don't know how funny it was when we were up salmon fishing and the guy got a little too close to Joe. The next thing you know, I thought a fight was going to break out. Right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. That was a bad one.
That was with these guys. He was about 6'6". He was
giant.
Over and I, oh boy, this is not going to work out too good.
Yeah, this guy was a monster. That was hilarious.
That was a funny story. Yeah, everybody's just. It was just funny how this guy came up on you and said, "And what did you start saying right in front of the guy? If this guy comes near me, I got to start hooking the line."
Oh God!
Oh boy!
I was snagging this guy's line because he like just totally mugged our spot, and then
did kind of. But then again, that's what everybody does up there.
Isn't that just what you do up? Isn't that what that is?
You know, Joe, we used to. He used to get me up like at 4:00. We got to get to the river. We got to get right down there and save our spot. So we get up at 4:00. We're right down there in the dark, that's like saving our spot. After it gets light, people just come right up and walk right up to you anyway. What do we do? Just what they do. Just weasel in on people. I mean, that's what they do to us. Oh, it was funny.
Well, so then why even bother to get up that early? Is that part of is that part of superstition too?
Just do what everybody else does. There's a zillion guys there anyway.
Do you have any superstitions that you believe in, Uncle Rich, that you follow religiously when you fish or hunt?
No, I don't really believe in that stuff. I used to have a lucky fishing hat, but it never brought me that much luck. I wore it, but thinking that it's my lucky fishing hat, but
he didn't catch fish a couple of times. So he wiped his ass with it and just threw it out the window.
Hat now, any hat I feel like wearing, you know.
Uncle Rich, thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations on your baby granddaughter that's coming.
August, she'll be here in August. One other thing I got to say is that starting now, I don't need a fishing license anymore.
Oh, no, you're over the age?
Not in Jersey. 70 is the age, and I hate to give my age away, but I don't need it.
Wow.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is cool, actually.
I got to pay the man anymore.
They don't even give you anything, I guess, right? You just need your driver's license to prove your age, I guess. Is that how it works?
I don't know. I'm sure you'll end up in an altercation with someone over it.
Well, I don't like many of them guys anyway. Right? Well,
Yeah. Now
Hey.
I'm gonna have to explain to you how to get out of this, or Dukes is just gonna have to. You have to click the red circle that looks like a phone.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
we could just kick him.
We could try.
There you go. He's gone.
Kick him off. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Uncle Rich. He has new. Me and Uncle Rich have so many funny adventure stories together. It's hilarious. But
Well, maybe we'll do a whole episode with that. Embarrassing stories of Joe and Uncle Rich.
embarrassing stories.
So
Skillful Angler update. I'm on the board.
is
Brown.
that it? The superstitions are done?
No. Now we have to do the mayhem ones, which are the most annoying of all. But you're gonna have to fill the void with the Skillful Angler update.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, as we touched on,
Oh, and also the contest. A lot of new prizes added since last week.
oh yeah. I mean, look, I'm not gonna pull up the list and just read through it, guys. But I mean, off the top of my head, and I don't remember what we had last time versus what we have now, but off the top of my head, we got you got a Mikey K guided drift boat trip, like a $500 value or $600, whatever it is. You got 2 open boat spots on the Gambler party boat for whatever anytime they're going out. It's 2 free passes. We got I think we got a shad trip. There's a shad trip on the
Shad
river.
trip. Yes, the Shad trip
Who's
from
that
Frank
with?
Guinness.
Okay.
That's a 4-hour Shad trip for 2 guys. Louis Ramirez, he just launched his wet side sharking new rods, the Katana.
Big surf fishing rods for sharks.
It's a 10-foot. No, the Katana. He's making 2 different ones. They're both styled after like Japanese weapons.
Okay.
The Katana is more of like your typical 10-foot striper castable rod. They're going to be $130, and then there's $160 one. I forgot what it's called, but that's a shark.
Yeah,
one.
I saw a picture. Look cool.
They are really cool. He donated one of those, so that's another new prize.
Yeah, and they've got all kinds of like, I think there's like $150 rod and reel combos, Daiwa, Shimano, whatever, from Sporting Life, Dow's Bait and Boat. They got all kinds of stuff, man. Go to njfishing.com. Okay, you don't have to be a member to look at the list. So if you're still not in this contest and you're still not a member of njfishing.com forum for some reason, you can still go on there. Just type in njfishing.com into your little web browser. It opens up the main page. You're going to go into the forums. You're going to click on the freshwater forum. And right at the top, stuck to the top, you're going to see the NJ Multi-Species Madness Fishing Contest. You open that up, and the first thread's got everything. It's got all the information, all the rules, all the species that are in this contest. How many are there? 8, I think. Is it 8?
8, yeah.
8 species. And it's got a list of all the prizes, and it keeps getting updated. And I just want to add too that all those prizes, it's not just for winning fish, right? If you have the biggest fish at the end of this contest, you win that big chunk of the pot, whatever that is. I think it's at least guaranteed $250 at this point, only going up. And I think second place might win money if we get enough participants. They might have enough participants already. But all those other prizes, almost all of them. Did you fall again? What are you doing?
My thing keeps breaking. My thing's broken. I gotta fix it.
All those other prizes that you see on there, they're basically going to be given away in different types of ways throughout the contest. Like early entry is going to get a bonus chance to win this Mike K trip. May just spin the wheel once a month. Like the specifics of it aren't there yet, but the bottom line is for the $25 to enter this contest, you have a chance to win all these prizes. You don't even have to catch a fish.
Oh, Apex added a shark trip in Florida.
Did
4
they?
hour, yeah, 4 hours shark fishing for 2 people in
Oh,
Florida for black tip sharks.
Did they also throw money into the pot too? I thought they put money in the pot or
Yeah.
something.
He donated $100 on top of that. There's a lot of donations though. We have to make sure that we go through.
Yeah, no, we'll get a whole list together and make sure that, you know, like I said, it's on the njfishing.com post as well, but we'll
Everything's
put up a post
there.
too.
And we've made 900 videos of it.
And the last thing is also included in that $25 entry fee. There's a pig roast / barbecue at the end of this, and
the pig's donated by Jerry. Jerry Z.
Yeah,
bought the pig.
Basically, for $25, at a chance to win all this stuff, maybe catch a big fish, win some money too. But even looking beyond that, if you can eat $25 worth of food at a barbecue with everyone, you can't lose.
There you go. It's a win. $25 for a pig roast.
Yeah. So
million raffles.
Yeah. So all right.
I think there's more prizes than entrants at this point.
It's crazy. It'd be harder to win nothing at this point, I think.
I'm gonna have to spin a wheel every 4 hours to have all these prizes out in time. But I did. Here's one that I missed that we should have touched on.
What is this? We're going back to the superstitions now?
Yeah. You wanted me to get the mayhem ones up.
Okay.
Catch a nice fish within the first 20 minutes and the trip's over. That's from James Muscola. I think a lot of us do believe that, and it has happened a lot.
I've heard the first cast fish, whether it's nice or not, if you on your very first cast you catch a fish, the day's gonna suck.
Yeah, usually, always.
But here. You want to know here's the psychology behind this, and probably most of these superstitions. You only remember when it happens. You don't remember all the times when you catch a fish on your first cast and you go, "Oh God, I caught a fish on my first cast. Now the day's gonna suck." But then you continue catching fish. You don't remember that day. The day doesn't mean it. You don't remember that you caught a fish on your first cast. That's how these superstitions gain popularity. People only like to talk about when it works.
What do you think about Black Rain Dwayne and he dropped a TV on a small child's head?
You see what shirt I'm wearing, right?
The Seahawk. Yeah, that's a shirt.
Seahawk fishing. No more intense superstitions are anywhere other than surrounding this boat.
Yeah, I want to touch on this boat a little bit because this is the most superstitious boat possibly on the eastern seaboard, and it literally believes Dwayne to be a witch.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want to come on the podcast. He doesn't want to be a part of it. I don't know.
He doesn't want to say the name. He probably
didn't want me to use his boat name. He doesn't want me to use his name. We'll call him Captain Fluke Belly. So, Captain Fluke Belly, okay, him and I going out fishing, and I'm supposed to fish with Dwayne. He had no one to fish with. I said, look, I'm sorry. My buddy, I'm supposed to fish with him. I'm not going to bail on him. And he's like, I don't like other new people coming on my boat. And I'm like, well, I came on your boat as a first time. What? No, you can't talk sense into the superstition, right? He doesn't want new people on the boat. No way, can't happen. I said, dude, then I guess you're not fishing because I'm not bailing on him. So, fine, whatever. Calls me back 30 minutes later. I haven't been fishing in 2 weeks. I got to go fishing. Just bring him. So he fought through this superstition he had with the no new people on the boat thing. Even though I was a new person at a time, and I fished with him tons of times after that. Number one go-to that I fished with him. So Dwayne comes with me. We go fishing. If I remember correctly, we had an okay day. I don't really remember how good the fishing was, but nothing bad happened on the fishing trip. Everything was fine. And we got, we caught some fish. I don't remember it. It wasn't like a terrible day. I don't remember if it was great, but we caught. The day ends. Everyone goes home. He texts me later that night and he goes, maybe, I'll overlook, like, your buddy's all right. I like him. He could come back and fish again. Like, he's all right. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the next weekend comes around. Hey, Dwayne, Captain Fluke Bailey said you come fishing if you want. All right, yeah, I'll come saltwater fishing again. All right, so we go out again. We're driving out to go fishing. The engine, there's a loud noise. It stops working. Okay. Turns out one of the power heads just blew. One of the power heads just blew out. Like, done. He didn't have sea tow. It was a whole thing, man. We had to try to steer. This is a steering wheel, like steering cable type setup, right? It was a disaster. I think someone helped tow us in part of the way, like, whatever. We got back eventually. Obviously, there was no fishing that day. No fish caught. So he calls me later that night, and he goes, "Listen, that's it. Your buddy's done. That's it." And he goes, I didn't want to say anything, but last weekend after we fished, I'm like, yeah, I know, man. Nothing happened last weekend. Like, you got to let go of this superstition. Like, nothing happened. Remember, it was fine. He goes, no, something happened. I'm like, what do you mean something happened? We had a good day. You said you liked them. And he's like, yeah, after I told you that, my son, the TV falls on my son, almost kills him. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, my brand new TV falls off the thing onto my son, almost killed my son. I'm like, John, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, that's the day that Dwayne came. I said his name. That's the day that Dwayne came on the boat and he almost killed my son. I was like, are you serious right now? I said, you think that Dwayne, by coming on the boat as a new person, put some kind of curse on you and he almost killed your son? The TV fell on him? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then the second time he came, he broke my engine. And I'm like...
He truly believed Dwayne tried to kill his son and then allowed him back onto the boat the following week?
And that's the funniest part of the story, right? He had this superstition and he fought through it somehow. Like, in his head, he fought through it. And he's like, maybe I can let new people on the boat sometimes. And then even the TV fell. He's like, no, that's just a coincidence. He justified it to himself like a normal person would. But then when the engine broke the next weekend, it went all back. It all reverted back, and the superstition was real. He went against it, and he paid the price. His son almost died, and his boat motor exploded, and it was all because of Dwayne.
And he no longer says the word Dwayne. He refuses.
If you refer to Dwayne as Dwayne, he will freak out.
You call him Glenn.
He will freak out. And, anyone who knows me knows that I keep referring to him as Dwayne. In fact, I don't know if I told you this story. So a couple weeks later, we had a really bad fishing trip. Like, I'm talking about after he got the motor fixed. And then we're back out there. We had a really bad fishing trip, and he's all like, I can't believe how bad this is. I couldn't help myself. There was like a plastic fork or something, like on the floor in between the seat that someone like dropped there at some point. And I pick it up and I go, oh, dude. I'm like, this was the fork that Dwayne was eating his lunch with that day.
Oh, God.
He jumps at me and grabs it and throws it into the water. He's like, oh, my God, that explains everything. That explains everything. Like, and he's dead serious. And I mean,
He is dead serious. Also, if you tell him good luck.
yeah, have you ever heard that one? And if anyone listening to this has ever heard that one, I never have. This is the only time I've ever heard it. If he believes that if you wish him good luck, it ruins the. So if he's going fishing and you say, "Oh, good luck out there," done. The day's over. He'll turn right around and go home.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he's insane. The last one I have, which I've used before with you, is pink sky at night, sailor's delight. Pink sky in the morning, sailor take warning. I follow that one religiously as well. You fought me on this one time, and you paid the price for it dearly.
When was this?
When we were going out, and I was driving down, I said, "Oh man, it's pink as hell," and we had to turn around.
I don't remember this.
We were going halby fishing with Ken Lazarchek.
Oh.
And we were driving down, and the sky was pink, and I'm saying it's pink. We're in big trouble. And you're, nah, it's calm.
Well, the weather was exactly what I read you from the forecast.
It just doesn't work when it's pink, dude. I firmly, really do believe.
Well, that's not really a superstition. There's like scientific things that happen in the atmosphere that, when the weather's going to change, the colors change in the sky on the horizon there when the sun's coming up. And there's actually, I don't not believe that. I just, the forecast was borderline that day, and it was, it was a little rough. We came around the hook there.
Pink sky.
Well, I'm not arguing that. I don't think that's
all right. Well, whatever. We're off next week. We have no episode because we're going on a ice fishing trip for like how many days? 4 days to try to find ice.
I ain't going 4 days. We're going 3 days.
3 days. So we have no episode next week. We're taking a week off. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna miss us, but
they'll survive.
Did you want to do a quick Skillful Angler leaderboard update or no?
Skillful Angler leaderboard update. Frank Rosinski took the lead on pickerel.
Yeah, 27 and a quarter.
Knocked Max off. I took a lead on brown trout.
24 and 3/4. I thought you said that fish was 25.
I think he robbed me of a quarter. Kyle, if you're listening,
What were you, drunk when you measured this fish? Why is
the
fish at like a 45-degree angle to the ruler?
Yeah. Listen, I set 3 pictures of the fish on the ruler at different angles. That one, I don't even know why I took that one at all, but he used it. I don't know why he chose that one, but that's like the worst one. But yeah, he gypped me out of a 1/4 inch for sure. He might claim a little mouth open action, but it's fine. I'm all right with it. I usually don't get a trout, so trying to get this 10 species thing this year, the trout at the beginning is kind of a big bonus. Towards that.
A nice bonus fish because it's hard to
Yeah, it's a bonus fish. Like the lake trout is usually a bonus fish too because you just don't get one that long. But
lake trout over 31 inches is
tough.
Pretty rare in New Jersey these days.
That monster lake trout we caught that was 13 pounds was like 31 by, it was so close.
Oh yeah, that fish was like a beach ball. It was not. Think about it for a second. That fish almost wasn't long enough to be considered. But
that's what I'm saying. The laker is hard. It's not easy to get that long. You just have to get lucky and kind of almost catch one of those misshapen ones that's just longer. But yeah, the trout's a nice bonus.
We got Sean Sullivan down South Jersey. Got a nice 15-inch white crappie. I love white crappie, man. I've never seen one in person. Like
Power
you just
Bait Paul said he'll take us for them.
you just don't see a lot of white crappie up in North Jersey.
No.
Right? Like I love crappie fishing. I've probably caught I think it's safe like thousands of crappie, thousands.
Yeah.
And I've never ever seen a white crappie.
Well, it's a completely separate species that we're not putting in our lakes, right?
I mean, I guess not.
It's like a yellow perch and a white perch, like it's two
I don't
totally
think
different
it's that.
fish.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think there's as much separation as far as like the species go. Like a white perch and a yellow perch are two completely different species. I think a black crappie and a white crappie are just two different, like two subspecies of the same species. They're always included together.
Have you ever seen a redfin pickerel in person?
Yes, I've caught redfin pickerel. Yes,
Is there a skillful angler for a redfin pickerel or no?
there is not.
What is it? What's it look like? It's just pickerel with red fins.
It looks like a really small pickerel, and it has red fins. They don't get as big as a chain pickerel.
Do they have the chain pattern?
They do. Yes, I believe so.
Where'd you see them?
Might be a little bit different. I
South?
caught one in the same river that you were fishing for wild trout. They're in there.
I fish everywhere for wild trout. All right, we'll talk later.
Whatever.
All right, so we're off next week. Who's the guest after that?
The guest after that is we got. Now, I don't remember which month we started doing this podcast, but we started doing it last March. And our first guest ever on the first episode, do you even remember?
The first guest ever would have to be Eddie Mackin, I would say.
All right, you remembered. I'm proud of you.
Second guest ever is Justin Lerner.
All right. Eddie Mackin is coming back on. First episode in March. Almost.
Is this like a
birthday
episode? I didn't even know about this. Is this like a birthday episode or something?
A birthday episode? What?
Is it the birthday of the podcast? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's just a coincidence that he's coming on to talk about like spring pan fishing on Lake Opakong since it's
1 year to the date since the podcast started?
Not to the date, but it's about a year. I just thought it was interesting, and now I've clearly boggled you.
So it's kind of a birthday celebration of a 1 year thing, bringing on the original guest for it. I see what you're doing. You're trying to pretend you're not doing it, but you're doing it.
I just thought it was cool that it's been about a year since we've been doing that. Eddie Mackin's coming back.
So Chris is secretly throwing a birthday podcast episode that's not one in 2 weeks.
Okay, sure. There'll be cake and birthday hats.
Well, we may sing.
Oh, okay. All right. Tune in 2 weeks to see Joe sing happy birthday to the podcast.
There you go. 2 weeks. Happy birthday podcast. 1 year. All right. Good night.
Good night. I didn't even go through the whole list yet.
Okay. What else do you have?
You want to leave people off of Skillful Angler? I mean,
I think everyone got off this already. All right. Keep going.
Yeah, no, but there's like 10 people listening. And if one of them is on the list here, I don't want
It's just Dwayne. It's just Dwayne. He's eating frosted mini wheats right now. Watching this shit.
Dwayne, this one's for you. I don't see you on the Skillful Angler leaderboard yet. So keep trying. Dan Pryor has a 35-inch Northern Pike. Someone has to buy Dan a new camera or a smartphone because the picture looks like it's from 1985. But that's a real nice pike. We got Alan Chesner with a 20-inch smallmouth. Nice fat fish.
A lot of skillful anglers coming in already, huh?
Yeah, I think that's about it for the skillful angler. Yeah.
What do you mean this picture looks like it's from the 80s? It's a black and white photograph?
Nah, just like it looks like a Polaroid picture. I don't know.
Is it a Polaroid?
I don't know. You can. I mean, it's a nice fish. I'm just saying. Someone get the guy a new camera so he could take nice pictures of these big fish he catches.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, and as far as fishing in New Jersey now, I think our fear has kind of come true, where we're kind of in purgatory in between ice fishing and open water fishing. And
Are you
can't-
going to provide Deuce with that voice message about someone crying so he could release that?
Oh, 100%. I was dead serious. I have a voicemail on my phone. I saved it, and it's of the woman from the motel where me and Max stayed when we went ice fishing. And she said the people next door were distraught and complained that there was a man screaming and crying next door.
And you can 100% confirm there was no noise from your room?
I mean, look, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. It wasn't me.
So it's possible you're sleeping and Max is sob. How long is this voicemail this woman left?
It's pretty long.
So she's very concerned.
Really
so this
drawn out,
guy's
and
sobbing all night.
She was very concerned, and the walls were kind of thin. So if he went in the corner of the room and was sobbing into the wall, then
Why though?
I don't know.
Did he catch something, a nice fish or something that would have made him happy?
Oh no! At that point, we hadn't been fishing yet.
Oh, okay.
He did end up catching a nice two nice smallmouths and a decent pike, but yeah.
So you go to bed and now Katie went too. Now where is she? She's asleep.
No. This was
Katie's
2
not
weekends ago. It was just
okay.
Max and I. She couldn't
So
come. This
fall asleep. Max decides to probably go into a corner somewhere and start sobbing. And now the woman in the next room calls the front desk and says, "This man's crying."
No. She told them after the fact, so we, who knows? It was emailed to her after the fact, and then she had to call me like a day later and leave this voice message.
And now, did you return that call?
I did.
And what did you tell her?
I said, hey, I don't know what this is about. And she's like, oh, she told me everything again. I said, yeah, I heard the voicemail. I said, I was asleep at 1 a.m. And she's like, well, is it possible your buddy? And I'm like, look, I don't know. I can give you his number. She didn't want it. She just wanted, she said, as long as you guys are okay,
this is crazy.
Yeah, no, it was definitely weird.
I got to hear this.
But, it was a nice trip, and I wish we had ice here, but if, for anyone that likes ice fishing, take the trip to upstate New York. Who knows what next year will bring, but we're not getting ice here in New Jersey. We got our whatever it was, 4, 5, 6 days. I highly recommend if you got the ice fishing gear, if you enjoyed doing it, consider taking a trip to upstate New York. There's places that get good ice up there. But I will say, even this year, more so than last year, there's even some places upstate New York having problems getting ice. There's only specific places you can go. So look into it. Katie and I went up and ice fished with Nick this past weekend too. We caught some nice pike. Katie had a nice pike, her first pike through the ice. I caught a couple pike. For the first time ever, Nick didn't catch anything, and we got to catch fish. Usually Nick catches all the fish and just laughs at us, and I sit there wondering, like, dude, why did I come up here to fish with you? To watch you catch fish? And he just does his giggle, and he just keeps catching fish. But all
right, well, yeah. there'll be 12 of us ice fishing in two one apartment and one house this weekend. So
yeah, and that'll probably be the last hurrah for us. I mean, I'm sure I think they're getting warm weather's hitting up there too. Some rain afterward. Who knows?
Yeah, this is gonna be it. I think this is it.
It'll probably be it for me for sure, and you as well, I guess.
It should provide at least some funny stuff. I'm sure.
It's always fun. I love doing it, and hopefully next year we get the ice fish in New Jersey. But if not, like I said, you're only a 5-6 hour drive away from ice fishing in New York, hopefully too. So it is what it is.
Can I say goodbye now?
I'll let you end it now. I did my thing with you again.
All right, we'll see everyone in 2 weeks.
See you. Take care.